Hey guys, today I'm going to be ranking all the Gigas, including Orion. I personally have ridden 3. There are 3 in the US, 1 in Canada, and 1 in Japan. For the ones I haven't ridden, I'm just going to make predictions on how I think the ride experience is. Starting off with number 6, I have Steel Dragon 2000. You can find this roller coaster in Japan at Nagashima Spa Land. This is Morgan's only hyper coaster. It's not the smoothest, but it does feature B&M trains, which will make it a little bit smoother. To add on, this is the longest roller coaster in the world. It has a massive drop and reaches 95 miles per hour. It has a couple airtime hills and massive helix turnaround. This is mostly widely considered the least popular Giga, so this is why I'm putting this at my number 6. Now moving on the list, this might be a little controversial, but I have a Millennium Force at Cedar Point. This was the first ever Giga created, and it has some great things with it. A setting that is amazing. It offers great views of Lake Erie and Cedar Point. If you ask people what Gigas they've ridden, they will obviously say this. It has some airtime hills, but mostly bank turns. This is still a solid ride. It's a little forceless. That's what I found it to be, forceless. That's why I nickname it Millennium Forceless. People will argue with me that it has force, but I cannot find any force with this ride. That's why I ranked it lowest out of all the Gigas I've ridden. Next up, we have Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. This was the first B&M Giga ever created. It has a great view from the entrance, and it has massive airtime hills with just a couple of wavy turns. This focuses more on speed though than airtime. I'm more of an airtime kind of guy, so this is why I rank this kind of low. This is my preference though, and if you find this ride to be fun and you have rode it, comment down below and tell me if you differ. But this is all I know about this ride, and I would love to ride it in the future. But despite all that, this is why I put this on my number 4. Now at my number 3 spot, I have Orion at Kings Island. This is where I'm throwing this one in, above Leviathan, Millennium Force, and Steel Dragon 2000. I could not pick between Orion and Leviathan, so I had to make a really good decision. They have the exact same ride time, and they have some similar elements, but Orion had the more unique elements, so I just had to put it above. It has that massive wave turn and that reverse treble clef turnaround. This looks to be a solid ride and is located at the back of the park, replacing Firehawk. It does look to be a little bit on the short side, but that's okay. It's a Giga, and that's what we needed. This is located at my home park, Kings Island, so I look forward to riding this. This is a hyper coaster model, which I found to be kind of weird. We'll just have to wait to see what I think of the ride, but I think it will be a very solid ride. This is why it's at my number 3 above Leviathan. Now, going into the number 2 spot, this was very hard to decide. I have Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. This coaster uses its height to its advantage, but after that, it stays low to the ground throughout most of the ride. Right after the drop, it goes directly into a sharp right turn. Some people black out, but everybody that rides this will gray out. After the airtime hill, your vision will finally come back before it sweeps you into some giant bank turns, widely considered the most intense coaster. Some people don't like the sharp turns, so this is kind of a love it or hate it coaster. But every single enthusiast has this in their top 20, because it is an amazing ride and it is so intense. This is why I put Intimidator 305 at my number 2. Now, taking first is the newest Giga Coaster, Fury 325 at Carowinds. This is a fantastic ride. It's fast, the drop is amazing, and I just recently rode this on my trip to South Carolina. The ride offers bank turns and airtime hills. Also, to add on, it's a long ride and is super glossy smooth. I think it would be amazing to ride all the Gigas because they all have big drops and airtime. These are the two things I love the most, especially first drops. Hint why I named the channel this. Getting back on track, all the Gigas have very similar stats and features, but it's the little things that set them apart, like the height and the elements. Feel free to comment below your favorite Giga. So this has been my ranking on my Gigas. If you guys want to put your rankings down in the comments, I'd love for you guys to. Stay tuned for more videos here on First Drop Thuzies, and I will see you guys all later.